Hi folks, Pete Lane. Welcome to another iPhone 101 demonstration from Blind Abilities. Are you concerned about using data on your cellular plan and constantly trying to think of ways to conserve your cellular data usage? What about iPhone storage? Are you constantly fighting that uphill battle, trying to remove things from your phone to free up storage so you can download another app or another iOS update? Well, I think all of us have been in that situation at least once in the past. Well, the subject of our iPhone 101 demonstration today will be to look at our various streaming apps like Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV, Disney Plus, and other video streaming apps, but also those audio streaming apps such as your native Apple Music app, Amazon Music, Audible, and even Bard Mobile, to see if we can reduce our cellular data usage while using those streaming apps. We'll also be looking at downloading episodes and trying to minimize the amount of storage space that those downloads will occupy on our iDevices. If you're in those situations, stick with us as we present another iPhone 101 demonstration from Blind Abilities. Let's take a quick walk through the Netflix iOS app and see if we can't conserve on our cellular data plan usage. I think most of us know that it's wiser to stream video and audio as well, for that matter, while on a Wi-Fi connection where the cost of using the internet is considerably cheaper on the Wi-Fi plan that we use at our homes. But every once in a while we get to a point where we really want to stream a video, such as in Netflix or one of the other video streaming apps, while we're away from our homes and therefore away from our Wi-Fi. In those cases, you want to conserve as much cellular data as possible since you're paying good money for it. So let's take a quick jaunt through the Netflix app for iOS and see how we might do that. Sit tight, and if you're ready to go, let's get started.
Let's get started.
First thing we do is ask Siri to open Netflix or find the Netflix app icon on our home screen and perform a single-finger double tap.
Netflix, who's watching, heading.
There we go. And here we are in Netflix. And usually the first button that we hear when we enter our Netflix app main screen is called Target Selector.
Target Selector button.
First 2 points of business we want to take care of. Number one, be sure that we're in our own profile, as many of us share Netflix with family members or friends. So let's go to my particular profile, which is labeled Parents. Yes, I share this Netflix app with my 2 sons. So my profile is called Parents.
Who's watching, heading. Mr. President button. Parents button. Other user button. Kids button. Add profile button. Parents button. Loading.
We also need to be sure that we're on our Home tab. Now at the bottom of the screen are 5 tabs, the first of which in the bottom left-hand corner is called Home.
Home tab 1 of 5.
Just double check that your Home tab is selected with a single-finger double tap.
Selected Home tab.
And there we go. Now let's flick around just a little bit to get a feel for how the app is set up.
Manage profiles button. My list button. App settings button. Account button. Help button. Sign out button. Version.
Double check to see that you have the latest Netflix version. This is the one that I have.
14.14.0, 3743, 5.0.1-001 button.
Ultimately, we need to get to
App settings button.
Yes, there we are. We'll perform a single-finger double tap to get into our app settings. And the first element that we want to look at from here,
Video playback heading.
Video playback settings, cellular data usage.
Cellular data usage.
There we go. Single-finger double tap. Now, flicking to the right,
Cellular data usage, automatic, switch button, on.
and as you hear, it's set to automatic. What we actually need to do is deactivate the automatic button, so we'll perform a single finger double tap to unselect it.
Cellular data usage, automatic, switch button, off.
Then we want to flick to the right to save data.
Wi-Fi only, save data.
We want to activate this setting. Single finger double tap.
Selected, save data.
Okay, let's back out of our screen and see what else is on our main Netflix screen. Go to the top with a 4-finger single tap.
Back arrow left button.
And we'll activate our back button, single finger double tap. Flicking to the right.
Video playback heading, cellular data usage, save data.
And there we see that our cellular data usage is now set to save data. Flicking to the right.
Downloads heading.
And here we come upon downloads. Single finger double tap to get into this screen.
Selected, Wi-Fi only, switch button, on.
And we see that our option for download on Wi-Fi only has been checked. And remember, the focus of this particular demonstration is on saving data usage when we're paying for it through our mobile cellular plan. So this is appropriate that we save our download activity to times when we are on Wi-Fi only.
Video quality, standard.
And we also see that our video quality is set to standard. This is the more advantageous data usage setting for the video quality. I think we'll see a further definition of those distinctions a little bit later when we flip through the rest of this screen. But right now we're flicking to the right again.
Smart downloads. Downloading only happens when you're connected to Wi-Fi.
And our smart downloads is set, confirming that downloads will only happen when we're connected to a Wi-Fi network. And here's a setting that I want you all to think about.
Download next episode. We'll grab the next episode of a show you've downloaded and delete the ones you've already watched.
Download next episode.
Switch button off.
It is set to the off position, indicating that I do not want Netflix to decide when and if I want to download episodes when I've completed the previous episode. I want to be able to make that decision. I don't want that to be an automatic thing, particularly if I'm watching my data capacity on my device. And I'm taking the same approach with the setting for downloads for you.
Downloads for you. We'll find shows and movies we think you'll like and save them on your device. Switch button off.
I want to make those decisions and not trust Netflix to make the decision. So that does it for this screen. Let's go to our back button. 4-finger single tap at the top to get to that back button.
Back arrow left button.
And we'll activate it with a single finger double tap. Now here I think is where we will get a more detailed explanation of some of those settings that we just passed over, starting with the video quality.
Smart downloads. Video quality selected. Standard. Downloads faster and uses less storage. Higher. Uses more storage. Selected. Standard.
And there you heard a brief definition of standard video quality, and the alternative setting is higher quality. If we're keeping an eye on our storage or our data usage, we would want to stick with the standard. It's a faster download, and it occupies a little less storage space once it's actually downloaded to our device.
Back arrow left button. Delete all downloads. Downloaded titles using 0 KB of 73.78 GB free space.
And flicking to the right,
About heading.
we have the About button, which tells us a little bit more details about the app.
Internet speed test.
And here's a new setting. Not sure when it came about. Netflix has its own internet speed test. I'm not going to cover it here, but you can certainly tap on it and see what your Wi-Fi or cellular download and upload speed might be. We'll back on out of this screen. There's our 4-finger single tap, and we'll activate our back button.
Back arrow left button.
And that pretty much does it for our walk through the Netflix app. As you can see, there are some basic settings that any of us can easily adjust and ultimately save us on our cellular plan usage. We've just reviewed Netflix and found a couple of ways to save some cellular data and perhaps a little bit of storage on our iPhones as well. Let's see if we can't find a couple of data saving or space conserving settings in one of our other streaming apps. And it just so happens I have the Prime Video streaming app. Single finger double tap.
Prime Video. Prime Video. White text on black background.
And here we are in Prime Video. Let's first tap toward the bottom of the screen and review the tabs very quickly.
Tab bar. My stuff. Tab 5. Downloads. Tab 4 of 5. Find. Tab 3 of 5. Store. Tab 2 of 5. Home. Tab 1 of 5. Selected. My stuff. Tab. Pete's profile active. Button.
And yes, you heard correctly. We will select My Stuff. Tab 5 of 5. Single finger double tap. We are in Pete's profile. We'll go on down to Settings.
Settings. Button.
It's a button. Single finger double tap.
Settings.
We want to go to Streaming and Downloading.
Streaming and downloading. Button. Streaming quality. Best. Button.
Streaming quality is currently set to best. I think we learned that the higher quality is not the way to go if we're looking for data usage, conservation, and conserving storage space on our device.
Stream on Wi-Fi only. Switch button. On.
We do have Stream on Wi-Fi only currently set in the on position. Continuing to flick to the right,
Download quality. Better. Button.
we see that our download quality is on better.
Download on Wi-Fi only. Switch button on.
But just as we have in our streaming setting, download on Wi-Fi only is currently in the on position.
Auto downloads on button.
Auto downloads is in the on position. Let's get a little bit more detailed in our definitions and understanding of streaming quality and download quality, particularly as it applies to this new app, Prime Video. We heard similar descriptions and definitions for these terms over in the Netflix app, but remember, we're now in the Prime Video app. app, so let's see what their definitions are.
Streaming quality, best, button. This setting applies only to this device. Estimated data amounts are shown. Selected, best, 5.8 GB/HR.
Here's our definition of best streaming quality. Now, better,
1.8 GB/HR.
and the definition for good.
Good, 0.6 GB/HR.
And let's go through and make our selections now. We will select good,
Selected, good.
which is the lowest quality of the video, but the most beneficial in terms of cellular data usage and the storage space on our device.
Select your default download quality. Higher quality downloads take longer and use more storage. Selected, good. Download quality, heading.
And now we have the same details on our download quality. We'll go up to our back button with our 4-finger single tap.
Back, button.
Go to the previous screen.
Download quality, good, button.
And here is our confirmation that we have now selected good download video quality. Now let's check out our auto downloads.
Auto downloads, on, button.
That's a button, single finger double tap.
Set how many episodes are downloaded and whether watched episodes are deleted. Episodes to download, 1, button. 2, button.
I did not see none as an option. We only want one episode downloaded.
Selected, 1.
As I explained when we were in our Netflix app, I want to be able to make those decisions regarding downloads when I'm finished with the previous episode. That pretty much winds up our walk through the Prime Video app from Amazon. I'd like to continue this exploration for cellular data savings and data storage savings in other apps. Those will require that we go into our native iOS settings app rather than the particular app itself. This will include our native music app, the TV app provided by Apple, and maybe one or two others, just to see where those settings reside, and then I'll go ahead and let you browse through those particular screens in the native iOS settings app to make whatever adjustments you think are necessary. So let's get started on that. And we'll look at our music settings.
Settings, heading, music, button. Allow music to access, heading, cellular data, on. Use cellular data for downloads, streaming, updating your library, and loading artwork.
We will see this introductory section following each of the apps whose settings we will be exploring. Allow music to access. That's going to be pretty standard in each of our settings screens.
Cellular streaming, high quality, button.
And another standard setting that we will see that will actually have an impact on our data usage, cellular streaming. We'll be skipping a bunch of these settings for expediency's sake. The magic of podcast editing. Here we go with the streaming audio quality. Remember, we're in our music, so we don't have associated video. We see that Apple Music has a couple of different levels of streaming quality on its music.
Selected, high quality, AAC 256 kbps.
We see high quality, the most costly, least beneficial in terms of conserving your cellular data use and your storage space on your device.
High efficiency, HAAC with low data usage.
Of course, we'll select the high efficiency, single finger double tap.
Selected, high efficiency, HAAC with low data usage, music, back button. Downloads, heading.
And now we're on our downloads screen.
Download over cellular, on.
We have download over cellular in the on position. We'll need to switch that to off. Single finger double tap to toggle it.
Off.
We'll turn off the automatic downloads feature as well.
Automatic downloads, on. Off. Music automatically downloads when purchased in the iTunes Store.
Keep in mind the focus of this demonstration is to find settings that specifically help us in terms of reducing our data usage and the iPhone storage that we use. I'm not necessarily going to leave these in the off position. I'm going to have to give this some thought, as I would expect each of you would do. You have to balance the benefit or the detriment that these settings may have in terms of data usage and your out-of-pocket cost versus the quality of the listening experience that you'll get from the settings. If you want automatic downloads to occur, because it's a very convenient option, by all means keep it in the on position. Just beware that this may cost you a bit more in terms of your cellular plan costs. So we'll move right along. Now here's the iPhone cover art feature.
Animated cover art, Wi-Fi only, button, on.
A visual feature, and it has to do with animation, which of course uses cellular data. We'll leave this in the Wi-Fi only position, and that will do it for our music app. Now let's go back to our main settings screen and flick to the next app in the list of applications which may have an impact on our data usage. Let's go ahead and check out our TV app, the video player for any products that we choose to connect to this app. This would include Apple TV Plus, but also other streaming products such as HBO Max, CBS, NBC, and other streaming products. And we would make these connections within the TV app itself under Settings. Then the TV app would be the video player for all of those connected apps. But for purposes of looking at our cellular data usage and the settings that we want to change to lessen the impact of streaming and downloading, we need to go into our native iOS Settings app. I'll perform a single finger double tap to open Settings. Now we want to flick all the way down quickly to the list of apps which reside in the bottom third of this main iOS settings screen. And I'll then go ahead and open our TV app.
TV.
Single finger double tap.
TV. Heading. Streaming options. Heading. Use cellular data. On.
We'll turn it off.
Off. Wi-Fi. Selected. Data saver. Stream up to 1 GB/hour.
And our video quality options here.
Fast downloads. Button. High quality. Slower download. Uses more storage. Fast downloads. Faster download. Uses less storage. High dynamic range. HDR. Videos and Dolby Atmos included with both options when available.
And of course we'll select fast downloads.
Selected. Fast downloads. Cellular. Use cellular data. On.
We'll turn it off.
Off.
Moving right along. Back out of our TV settings. The next one will be podcasts. Again, this is purely audio, but it does involve streaming and downloading episodes, which can affect our out-of-pocket costs for cellular data.
Allow podcasts to access. Heading. Cellular data. Switch button. On.
We'll turn off the cellular data setting.
Off. Block downloads over cellular. Switch button. On.
Here we have a feature where we can block the streaming of podcasts while on a cellular network.
Continuous playback. Switch button. On.
And the continuous play we can turn to the off position.
Off. The next episode and up next will automatically start playing after an episode ends. Episode downloads. Heading. Cellular downloads. Ask if over 200 megabytes. Button. Selected. Ask if over 200 megabytes.
We can set this so iOS prompts us if the download will involve more than 200 megabytes.
Automatic downloads. Heading. Enable when following. Switch button. On. Enable automatic downloads when following a show so you can play episodes offline.
And we can enable automatic downloads when we're following a particular podcast. iOS will ask us whether or not we wish to have automatic downloads turned on. So I'll keep that in the on position. And here comes our Amazon Music app settings.
Amazon Music. Button. Allow Amazon Music to access. Heading. Cellular data. Switch button. Off.
Once again, we have cellular streaming on or off. And the next app up is Audible.
Audible. Button. Allow Audible to access. Heading. Cellular data. Switch button. On.
Likewise, it's a streaming service. We'll put cellular streaming in the off position as well.
Off.
And likewise with Bard Mobile.
Bard Mobile. Button. Allow Bard Mobile to access. Heading. Cellular data. Switch button. On.
Cellular streaming will go to off.
Off.
And we'll do the same in the Disney Plus app settings.
Disney Plus. Button. Allow Disney Plus to access. Heading. Cellular data. Switch button. On. Off.
So I think we have made our point. I'll leave it to each of you individually to go through your settings app, flick down to your list of applications, which is down towards the bottom third of that main screen in settings, and browse through them and see which ones may or may not affect your cellular data usage and or the storage you're using on your iOS device. The last few minutes of this particular demonstration were fast moving. Again, I think you've all got the understanding of what particular settings may or may not impact your out-of-pocket costs. I'll leave your browsing to your own devices. So that'll conclude our brief little series on low data usage, how to reduce your expenses for cellular data plans that you're paying for, and how to reduce the storage space used on your iOS device. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day. We're out of here.
When we share
what we see
through each other's eyes,
we can then begin to bridge the gap between
limited expectations
and the
realities
of
blind abilities.
The realities of blind
abilities.
For more podcasts with a blindness perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter at blindabilities. Download our app from the App Store, blindabilities, that's 2 words, or send us an email at info@blindabilities.com. Thanks for listening.